Sunday, the 18th of July. Well, here we go, setting the scene once again. Are there any buildings that have made a lasting impression on you? You know, just something that's made them memorable to you personally. Now, it could be a school building, university, a church building, a place of work, a ballroom, whatever. Just what building has made an impression for you? And it doesn't need to be something grand, just anything that has left an impression. So, well, what about me? Well, I would say the church that I grew up in made a lasting impression on me, because I have wonderful memories of growing up and attending all the various activities that I did in the church. And of course, what was special about the church was that it was a round church. And of course, the saying then was that the church was round, and that meant the devil couldn't hide in the corners. Enough about that. But that was significant for me, the church building there. It was called Lochwood Parish Church. So that made a lasting impression. And then I would say also Glasgow University. That building made a huge impression on me and everything that I achieved in my life while I was there. So that's just two. And probably the biggest one I've left to last, of course, is Easton Old Parish Church, simply because it was my first church as a minister, and well, what it was like when we first came, and then what it's like now. So a lot has happened in my life during the 10.5 years. So it's probably the biggest thing that has made an impression on me. But what makes a building memorable to you? Because there'll be something that makes it memorable to you. With whom do you share that memory with, if anyone? Now there's another one for you. Now we've been talking as though it's all good memories, but a memory of a building, well, it can also have painful memories as well. So the building you were thinking about, was it good memories or was it bad memories? And how does that experience shape you today? And how much do you hanker either to return to the old way or the former building, or to move on? Well, that's me set the scene for today. So let's hear the Bible reading from 2 Samuel chapter 7, verses 1 through 14. After the king was settled in his palace, and the Lord had given him rest from all his enemies around him, he said to Nathan the prophet, "Here I am, living in a house of cedar, while the ark of God remains in a tent." Nathan replied to the king, "Whatever you have in mind, go ahead and do it, for the Lord is with you." But that night the word of the Lord came to Nathan, saying, "Go and tell my servant David, this is what the Lord says. Are you the one to build me a house to dwell in? I have not dwelt in a house from the day I brought the Israelites up out of Egypt. So this day I have been moving from place to place with the tent as my dwelling. Wherever I have moved with all the Israelites, did I ever say to any of their rulers whom I commanded to shepherd my people Israel, 'Why have you not built me a house of cedar?' Now then, tell my servant David, this is what the Lord Almighty says. I look to you from the pasture, from tending the flock, and appointed you ruler over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone, and I have cut off all your enemies from before you. Now I will make your name great, like the names of the greatest men of earth. And I will provide a place for my people, Israel, and will plant them so that they can have a home of their own and no longer be disturbed. Wicked people will not oppose them any more, as they did at the beginning, and have done ever since the time I appointed leaders over my people Israel. I will also give you rest from all your enemies. The Lord declares to you that the Lord himself will establish a house for you. When your days are over and your rest with your ancestors, I will raise up your offspring to succeed you, your own flesh and blood, and I will establish his kingdom. He is the one who will build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. I will be his father, and he will be my son. Amen. So I'm going to look at things just briefly about different expectations. So from that passage, I'm going to read you something that David's expectations, and then I'm going to give you God's expectations. Okay? So this is David's expectations. I wanted to build you a house, but you said no. I wanted to protect you, honour you, give you status, give you a home, but you said no. I wanted to be settled, safe, rested, content, but you said no. Did I create you in my own image? Did I imagine that you would value what I valued? Did I assume that my needs were your needs too? Did I get it wrong? And then God's perspective. David, from travelling with the sheep to being ruler over my people, I have always been with you. I will always protect you and your descendants. I will always be with you. I have journeyed with you, David, and I am still on the move. I do not want to settle in a house. I am not like you. This time, David, you got it wrong. But whether you get it right or wrong, I will always love you. Two different perspectives, David's and God's. So then I thought, what kind of expectations do we differ on? Well, I would say a lot of people in Scotland expect Scotland, the football team, to win every match they go out to play. And then there's the other lot that would think, Scotland really, really struggle all the time at their matches. So we've got different expectations there. What about Wimbledon? It's just finished. So being a Scot, well, we are very hopeful that Andy Murray will continue and keep going and maybe win some more. That's our expectations of him. But other people think, nah, he's past it. His day's done. So it's different expectations. In Britain, we expect our children to be educated and educated to a good standard. What about people across this world where they just do not get education, or they're only given education for a few years? Again, different expectations. We always expect the NHS to be here for us. Well, we are so blessed in that and everything they have done over this last little while, especially. But just think of the many, many countries that don't have a national health service. And if you don't have the money, well, they don't get seen. If we bring it closer to home, well, lots of our people had the expectation that our organ, our original organ in the building, would be there forever. Whereas others saw that the time had come that it needed to go. So there was expectations there as well. Because let's be honest, who would really be around now to be able to play that organ, even if it was brought up to standard? And that would have cost so much money. I mean, excessive amounts of money just for that one thing alone. And that brings us to our renovations that we have conducted in East and Old. Now, we all keep saying that the church is not a building, it's the people. But the building is where we come together as a community. It's a place where we worship together. It's a place where we support one another and we can learn from one another. A very small thing happened just 2 weeks ago. One of our long-standing members was at the church gates. They were waiting on something, and there was lots of people walking back and forth, and she knew lots of them. And a couple stopped by her and just said, "Oh, we've seen so much work going on in the church, especially since January. There have been workmen and vans and scaffolding, so much going on. What's been going on?" So she told them that, the renovations, phase 2, were now just about complete, and that we were going to be having a grand opening day. And they said, "Well, it's taken you quite a while. What's taken so long?" She said, "Well, after phase 1, we ran out of money. And we had to wait until we had enough money for phase 2, and then COVID hit." And he went, "Oh," he says, "goodness sake," he said, "your church has got lots of money." Well, I would love to know where they think we get our money from, that's for sure. I don't know what people's expectations of the church are, but all of our money comes from our members and then friends of the church who want to support us. We don't get money from the Church of Scotland main office or anything like that. It is all our members' money, and we do a lot with that money in our community also. So there was somebody's expectations that, we've got lots of money, we can do what we want. That maybe was the good old days. It's certainly not the here and now. And a lot of people expect the church building always to be there. Some don't care, and that their expectation, that's fine. They have no interest, and it doesn't matter to them whether it's there or not. But lots of people expect the church buildings always to be there. But we have to work hard to keep it there. But enough about buildings, because it's what we do in our lives that really matter, and how we put our faith into our words and then into our actions. Our members and friends of the church and many community businesses see the need for East and Old Parish Church in the town of Forfar, and they see the good that we do within the community. So I just want to say thank you very much to all of you at this point for all you do for us. I would also like to invite you all to our grand opening of our completed church renovations, so you can see what's been happening in the last year or so especially. So this coming Saturday the 24th of July, anytime between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m, we would really love you to come to the church, and we look forward to showing you around. Our new renovated church has rooms which are multi-purpose. We've new activity hall, we've got Wi-Fi throughout, audio and visual throughout, a place to hold conferences, parties. It's comfortable, it's modern, and so much more. Our expectations are that you will really like what you see, and we are sure God led us for this vision for our building so that it's fit for the purpose of the 21st century and available to the many people and the many organisations in our community. And remember, it's for all people to use, not just church members. And we're really grateful to the Church of Scotland comms department, Cameron, and also to Graham from the Courier for their wonderful reports that they put up on the web and also in the Courier about our lovely new building that we're desperate for everyone to see, and which will benefit the community. And that is part, and one of the main parts, of God's mission. We're now going to hear a reflection, which is going to be read to us by Elizabeth MacLeod. She will then follow that on with the prayer, and then she will follow that on by playing the hymn, Let Us Build a House. Can I wish you every blessing in the week ahead. God bless. Today's reflection is Let Us Build a House.
Let us build a house for God to live in. Which brick shall we choose to build God's house? Sun-dried, concrete, granite? What colour brick should please God? Red, grey, brown? What kind of house can we build for God? Bungalow, mansion, castle? Where can we put down the foundation? In the city? Out in the country? Up a mountain? There are so many choices we have to make, but we will never agree together. Are you the one to build me a house to live in? Let me build your house, said the Lord. Every stone is collected, all sorts of colours are used, any size is acceptable. Everywhere will do. One house made up of very diverse stones. One house cemented together by the blood. One house where God can dwell right inside our hearts. Let us pray. Master Builder, we are created in your image and have a desire to be builders from a very young age. Whether it is wooden bricks, building a tower, or sand castles, or whatever material we can find, we love to build things. But you invite us to build more than just things. You want to build a friendship with us. You want to talk to us and to listen to us. You want to spend time with us as we read and play. May we take time to be with you today. May we be content to sit with you where we are and enjoy precious time together. Amen. Today's hymn is Let Us Build a House. The two verses.